Registration for this year's Ohio Veterans Conference is open. The event brings together service members and their supporters from all over Ohio. Happens early August in Columbus. So right now we want to welcome the director of the Ohio Department of Veterans Services. That is Deborah Ashenhurst. Deborah, we know events like this are so important, especially the camaraderie getting these veterans from all over the state together.
It really is, Dan. Thanks so much for talking about it today. We really want to get the word out across the state for all of our veterans to take advantage of this opportunity.
So what's the primary type of information that veterans are looking for? I would imagine health care or dealing with the VA. And are we hearing good things about improvements with the VA or no?
Oh, we are. We are. There's a lot more opportunities to the VA, but the theme this year is whole health and resiliency, which feeds into all sides of our healthcare and our well-being. We've got some great speakers lined up, great breakout sessions. There's going to be an expo where they can actually interface with folks who want to help them connect with resources or job opportunities, look at resumes, all those sort of things.
Really interesting when I saw it from the press release here that retired Army General Dr. Rhonda Cornum is going to be speaking. She's a surgeon, and she was the woman that was in a helicopter shot down during the Iraq War and was a prisoner of war there for a few days. And her story, I would love to hear her story.
I am fascinated by her and have had the opportunity to meet her like this on a Zoom call, and just her resiliency that popped out, that she's like, I was mentally ready for this. I knew what I was getting into. I understood the risks, but my mission was so important. It was worth those risks. She's really phenomenal. And I don't want to blow all the secrets of her presentation, or you could get her book ahead of time and see what she's going to talk about. But I am very excited to hear her and see the reaction of our veterans to her presentation.
I was surprised to see that Ohio ranks 5th in the population of veterans living here in the state, 700,000. That's a deep well of resources for you as well in getting your word out.
It really is, and we want them all to know about it and understand not all of them will come. We have some aging veterans in the state as well, but we're a very large veteran state, and we want to connect everybody, not just to resources, but to each other. Because what we found when it comes to mental health, a lot of times when you have someone to share your story with that has been through what you've been through or can relate to your language and your acronyms, it can make life a lot better, and it can make life not so lonely sometimes.
Mental health is so important with veterans' health, especially when we're talking about, well, we had the Vietnam era, and those veterans themselves had a very difficult time. But then you had the Gulf War veterans. You're very familiar with this. They are so many of them because it was such a long war. And these men and women served long times overseas. They would come home for a short time and go back again. And the pool of soldiers wasn't what it should have been. And we were asking an awful lot of these people, what kind of ramifications are we seeing years later from them with their mental health?
Repeated deployments certainly did take their toll, and not only on the veteran, but also on their families. And the opportunities are there for them to get some help to talk about how they reintegrated back in, or maybe they haven't fully integrated back in. Are there veterans who are still self-soothing and taking other opportunities to try to push these memories aside and just not dealing with the facts? And there's so many opportunities, so many organizations in Ohio that want to help veterans go through these processes and to be back to what the new normal is and to help their families with this reintegration. But we also have to realize not all veterans came back hurt or harmed, and sometimes just getting back with comrades and people like them is a happy time.
Deborah, you're so right pointing out that the families also bore the burden that we are asking the families to do an awful lot, losing their mother or their father for long periods of time. In the 6 years that you've been in this job, in charge of the veterans in the state of Ohio, what changes have you seen in the public perception toward our veterans?
I've seen such an acceptance of understanding that they have made sacrifices, appreciating that. An amazing amount of employers want to hire veterans because they recognize the great attributes and values that veterans bring to the workforce. So I tell you, the biggest problem I have right now is a lack of veterans to go into the workforce. Certainly not those that want to hire them, but the resources that are available in about any community or any mental health institution or our institutes of higher education, whether it's colleges, apprenticeships, and all those sort of things. Everybody's out there trying to reach the veterans and help them utilize those benefits they gained from their service.
Give me an idea of how you apply, get your word in there to make a reservation to go to the Veterans Conference coming up in August.
Yes, please. You can go to our website, which is ohiovets.gov, ohiovets.gov, or you can go to Eventbrite. Eventbrite is where we're registering through. It's $25. There is a limited number of opportunities, so get your reservation in there early so that you don't miss out.
So that'll be on the campus of Ohio State University at the Union then?
Exactly.
What kind of a crowd do you get for that?
Well, we're hoping for 500. When we had a strictly women's conference, we get up to 300. So now we're hoping to expand that. We want to get as many of our veterans in as we can fit in the room.
Director, I appreciate your time today. Hope that you get a good crowd on that, and it's a very beautiful resource fair there in August in Columbus. Thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for getting the word out.